The power a man holds might as well be superhero status. There'll be more on that later. Your past has a power in itself as well, but it also has a place. And that place in this world is behind you. The problem is that many men seem to live from their past every single day, when in reality, your past can actually benefit you, and it can be a professor. No matter what your past or your family history is, you were born to do something great. Now, that change in your life over time compounds and changes the entire trajectory of your family and your legacy. The day you were born, I love what Andy Frisella says. The day you were born, all of human history changed because now you exist. And let me tell you this, the day the real work begins is the day you decide, today is my day. Today is the day I will become the hero in my own story. And that's what we're going to talk about today on Man vs. Marriage, the podcast. Welcome back to another episode of Man vs. Marriage. I'm your host, your humble servant, Quincy Moran, a.k.a. the Q-Dog. In the Moran family studio, I'm here to talk to you today about this superhero status you may not know that you have. It might sound hokey, but let me tell you what, it is absolutely true if you embrace it and you move forward and you lead your family. Here's something I want you to remember. I say this all the time. If you are an original listener, a longtime listener to this program, it will be familiar territory. It will also be what guides your life as you move forward in one facet or another. And that is, who you are is not who you have to be. So the question I would ask you is why? Why are you here at this podcast? That's a question only you can answer. I can only imagine it had something to do with the title. So let me explain to you what this is about. Superhero status. How could you have superhero status? How could I have superhero status? I've got some talking points here today that I want to talk about, that I want to bring to you, and I want to help you begin to understand the power that you truly hold when it comes to your life and it comes to your legacy. And here's what I'm going to tell you. I continue to say this as of late more and more often, because this is not just stuff that I read in a book. The stuff that I am bringing to you in large part is what I have learned through testimony, through trial. It's like a clinical trial in my life. I am putting these things to the test. And so I'm living these things. And if I didn't live this, I couldn't come to you with great conviction to talk to you about what is possible for you. Because remember this, God is not interested in what you cannot do. He's interested in what you are willing to do. So join me in this so we can talk about this superhero status that we have today. I'm going to build it like this. The path to becoming who you want to be requires change. You may say, Quincy, that's obvious. I'm here looking for change. I'm here looking for something. Let me give you something practical. Let me give you something practical that you may not be aware of. I know that's hard to do these days with all of the technology and the information overload. But if you're here because you want to figure out how to change your life, let me cue you in on a secret here. When you start to change your life and you start to swim upstream from where you've been, you feel resistance naturally. Why is that? Because we as humans, we learn how to acclimate in our misery. We just begin to deal with it. Have you seen people in public? Maybe you're one of those people. Like it's a knee or it's a hip or it's a back or it's a shoulder. And we just begin to acclimate with the ailments that we have until it becomes a normal part of our life. And let me tell you this, your life and your relationships, your internal man is the same way. You get disappointed and you start to acclimate to that disappointment. And before you know it, you've drifted off of the past or off the path, excuse me. And we tend to resist change because we get comfortable, because we have acclimated to where we are. And so the way our life goes as the leader of your home, I hope you are embracing that as the leader of your home. As you go, so can go the family. Now, I want to tell you this, and I want to make this clear because whatever your past is, all too often we are living a lie from our past. And I know that may sound crazy. It may sound crazy if you've heard that, you've never heard that before. Maybe this is the first time. I'm going to tell you a story really quickly about how for over 40 years I was living lies from my past. It goes like this. I will condense this as much as possible, but I still want you to gain the value out of it. I had a problem in my life where I was a people pleaser. I was such a people pleaser that I would plan my day to the minutes, almost to the seconds. And so I would try to spread myself so thin, helping and taking care of everybody because I wanted to be relevant, I wanted to matter, and I wanted to be good enough. Maybe that sounds a little bit like you. Maybe that sounds like someone you know. So it's like, what happened? How did I come to that place where I felt I needed to be performative in order to be good enough for the people that already love me? Well, here's where it came from. I actually found out in this book by Julia Gentry, and it's called Your Limiting Beliefs. It's your lies of the past. When I was 5 years old, my parents got divorced. And I remember being in the back of the station wagon, and we're getting ready to go. My grandfather had come out from California to drive us back in the station wagon from Adger, Alabama to Lancaster, California. And all of a sudden, a truck pulls up. There's my dad. The three of us kids are in various places in the back of the station wagon. And he walks up with three paper sacks. It's got fruit. It's got candy. I'm glad because I see my dad. He's there. He gives us the stuff. And then we drive away. He stays there. What I didn't know about that time is I started to make their relationship and their divorce about me. Maybe it's something that might even naturally happen. I can't really tell you. But I can tell you that that led me down a path to thinking this thought subconsciously somehow that I wasn't good enough for my parents to fight for their relationship. I didn't matter enough for them not to get divorced. And I made a situation about me that was not about me. And so for 40 years or so, I lived that kind of a lifestyle. My confidence suffered, my relationship suffered. I was such a people pleaser that I would overdo it and overcommit myself. I would be all in quickly without giving time to test the waters. And so I had to address those things within myself. Had I not, the trajectory of my family's legacy would have continued down another path. But thankfully, through some of those exercises that she offers, I came to the place where I remembered that. And a friend of mine took it even further when he said, hey, think of your earliest childhood memory. Boom, that's the memory it went to. My parents getting divorced. He said, now look at you. You have a podcast helping people save their marriage. It blew me away. I was like, oh my Lord, I never thought about that. So those lies that I lived for so long caused me to become someone I was not supposed to be. The uncomfortable truth is that I had to change who I was. There had to be a change to take place. I had become comfortable in that misery. I'd become comfortable in that disappointment. I had become comfortable with the fear that I was not good enough and that I didn't matter. So I went outside of my home to find those things and look for affirmations I wasn't getting at home. And so that is what took me down the path. I want you to know something that Tony Robbins said that truly affected my life. And I know I'm talking about a few different people here that are in this industry, if you will, but he talked about change. And I want to talk to you about suffering through change. And this is something that recently I talked to Jeannie about, because it can be difficult making decisions to change your life and to move your life in another direction. What I want you to know right now is that whether you change or not, there is going to be suffering. One of those lines of suffering, one of those paths leads you to regret. And the other one leads you to responsibility. One of those is going to lead you to your goals. It's going to lead you to a place in your life on who you want to become. It's going to get you closer to who you're becoming. The other one is going to take you further down the road of regret, farther away from the man you promised you would be, from the man you envisioned yourself you would be when you had a wife and you had a family and you were the hero in that story. So if both of those paths require suffering, and they do, which suffering are you willing, from today on, which suffering are you willing to accept and take on? I want to encourage you, the path that leads to the man you are becoming or that you hope to become, that is the path that is worth taking. Because see, the other path, you suffer a little bit less until you get to a particular destination. And then you look back, and one of the most difficult things in life is regret for things you knew you could have done, you should have done, and you did not do. Well, where does that start? That starts with making a decision. And it's interesting how often I am talking about just making a decision lately. Because I think all too often we think it's got to be some Disneyland moment when you wish upon a star and the stars are shooting across the sky and something magically changes. And it's not. It is a magical moment, but it's magical because now you have decided to take your authority back. You've decided to get on a path that leads you closer to the man you're becoming, closer to the man that you promised you would be in your vows to your wife. The responsibility you accepted when you and your wife created children to be on this earth. So I want you to think about this. Your past can be a professor, but at some point you graduate that class and you move forward, or your past can continue to be a prison for you. Which do you choose? Because you have the power to choose. Did you know that making a choice today allows you to change the trajectory of your legacy? What is your legacy? That's the impact that you make on your family. It is the lasting memory of impact once you are gone. And you have the ability to take that responsibility and to make changes today into becoming the man you want to be. You can't get caught up in immediate gratification in this world that we live in, where you can order something today and have it in 5 minutes. You can order something today and it'll be here tomorrow. It's not instant gratification. This takes work, but this work is so worth it when it dramatically changes your life, and then it changes your family's life. And it starts to bring your marriage back together. It starts to strengthen the fibers of your relationship. If you're a man of faith, then you allow Christ to lead you in this, and you begin to transform. And before you know it, you're not even the same man. You're a new man. And that, my friends, is the superhero status I am talking about. And though it sounds funny, it's not to be undersold. How do I know? Because I am living that right now. Is my life perfect? Absolutely not. Does our family still have challenges? Of course it does. But because I accepted the call and I embraced the responsibility of the man that I said I would be, and because I decided I was going to be a new man and I sought God's heart and became a new man, the path that I am on, the trajectory of my family is on a totally different course than it was. We're no longer surviving in this relationship, but our relationship is thriving. We still have significant amounts of adversity that's outside of our control, but we continue to fortify our relationship and an example to our children as they go out and they start to create their own lives. And that is possible for you. And that is what I'm telling you is superhero status. Be the hero in your own story. That is the power that you have today. You have the power and you have the authority to change today. And the trajectory that you choose today can rewrite your family's entire legacy. So what do you choose today? Who you are is not who you have to be, even if you're a pretty good guy. How are you honoring this life on a day-to-day basis? Are you leaving potential on the table? That's a question only you can answer. But I'm here to tell you, the work is worth it. It is of the utmost value as you strengthen your relationships and you begin to lead your family. And I know it's possible for you because it was absolutely possible for me. That is all for this particular episode. I am the Q Dog. As you hear dogs barking in the background at the Moran Family Studio, thank you so much for watching this episode. Hey, because this episode made an impact on you, would you share it with somebody? Would you suggest this episode to somebody? Would you send this to a man that you believe can benefit from it? Tell him at least one way how it challenged you to get better. Would you rate our show? Would you leave a review? We would greatly appreciate that. If you want to reach out to me, it is Quincy at Manvsmarriagepodcast.com. That's where you can email me directly, and I'll be looking forward to what you have in store for me. And look, I am rooting for you. I am rooting for you. The reason I know what's possible is because I used to be you. And now it's your time. It's your time to take that superhero status in your own life, and I believe you can. That's it. I'm Quincy Moran, and this is Man vs. Marriage, the podcast.